In this video, we're going to be taking another look at some of the recent and particularly awesome new releases for Fallout 4. We'll look at 8 of the best new mods to come out over the past couple of weeks or so, and many of these you're going to want to download, so I will have links to everything down below. We're kind of in that final stretch before the Outer Worlds, Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC, so this is a couple of good things, smaller scale, easy to install to hold you over. Speaking of which, one of the first things I do want to take a look at is the MP5. This being a brand new weapon mod in Fallout 4. We've had a lot in this category, although surprisingly enough, there honestly hasn't been many MP5 iterations. The MP5 is actually an old weapon from the Fallout franchise. It appeared in some of those original games, and honestly, this weapon mod doesn't really do anything super different. It has some different customization options. You could change the way it looks. It has custom animations, custom sounds, but really when it all comes together, it is done so well that this is easily one of my favorite weapon mods, especially in compact weapons for this game. The animations are crisp and quick. They're actually pretty cool, a little bit more unique than some other animations out there. All of the customization options I could have imagined or wanted are pretty much there. You have a variety of scope options. You'd actually change the end of this to have an integrated suppressor, some different rail systems, or even an interesting integrated flashlight. And to cap it all off, the sound work on this one was also really nice. The sounds are really nice to listen to. So all in all, the MP5 isn't really doing anything all that different outside of implementing an MP5, but everything about it is extremely well done, and if you are even remotely looking for something like this, then I would definitely recommend giving it a download. But with a new weapon mod, you may want something to actually use it on, so next up we do have the Capital Wasteland Behemoths, the newest release from the team creating the Fallout 3 remake mod that with Fallout 4, the Capital Wasteland project. So this mod in essence is actually pretty simple. What it's going to do is be a retexture of the Behemoths in Fallout 4, making them look quite a bit more like they did back in Fallout 3. There are several different variants of these coming in different shapes and sizes, having some slightly different faces and actually what kind of armor they have on them, but at the end of the day, it's going to look like this. I personally like this for a couple of reasons. One, it's novel, it's something that is different, a mix-up on Fallout 4, so it's not those same old Behemoths, just the fact that it's something different is nice. But even further, I just think they look cool. You do get a bit of nostalgia here. When you encounter a Behemoth, now it feels a little bit more unique and special. They are still a rare enemy in game. It's not really changing too much about the spawns of them. It is just going to be a visual improvement, and I think a very positive one. There also is a new item added in with this I don't want to spoil, but it is a pretty cool new addition that you should keep your eyes out for. Although in addition, coming from the exact same people, they also did add the Ghoul Mask back into Fallout 4. This also originally appearing in Fallout 3, and this is actually a really practical new addition into Fallout 4. There's going to be a short quest that's actually kind of cool to actually get this one. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to show it in this video, but it's very self-explanatory. You'll just start the game and have to go do that quest in order to get this mask, which is added in as a legendary item. And from there, you have a mask that looks pretty cool, but like in Fallout 3, this also comes with the benefits of the Ghoul Mask. That being that now feral ghouls will no longer attack you while wearing this, making it so as you clear through some of those areas where there are a lot of feral ghouls in general, this is super handy and useful to have on you. And honestly, at the end of the day, I just really love its implementation. The quest was nice, short enough to be satisfying, but also long enough to feel like this mask had a bit of a challenge. You had to do something to get it. It wasn't just handed to you, but at the same time, it is a very useful item, something very practical to add to your Fallout 4 that also is custom and throws in that little bit of nostalgia. But hey, maybe you hate nostalgia and you just want to make Fallout 4 feel like a totally different game. Well, for that, we actually do have KillTips and Hit Sound, and this is one of the coolest mods we've had in a long time. This is going to do two major things for Fallout 4. It's going to make it one, so as you actually land shots on enemies, there's now a more satisfying sound in-game. But also, as you actually finish off enemies, you'll have an indication on screen, very similar to other FPS games like Call of Duty, Battlefield. The little on-screen UI element actually has built-in functionality for a lot of weapon mods out there, so for many custom weapons, even the MP5 I just showed you, it'll actually pop up on that screen, and it also shows you how far away you were when you took down an enemy, which is pretty cool if you're going for a sniper character. You can try and beat your own record. But there's actually a couple of additional options with this. this. You could have an on-screen HUD element that shows your heart rate. This obviously is just calculated based off what you're doing in game, whether that be sprinting or in a tense combat moment, and it's cool, but also it adds in this kind of breath hold bullet time effect. And unlike some other bullet times out there, the way this will work is as you're aiming down sights and hit a certain key, it'll slow time, like a typical bullet time. The key has to be assigned, it's off and not assigned by default, and then from there it will fill up that meter, and once you hit the limit, you'll no longer be able to use this. But this one, compared to other bullet times, actually felt just very fluid. I don't know what it was exactly, but it really felt like you could enable it and disable it much more quickly. And you would just use it for a quick spurt to maybe try and land a couple of headshots in quick succession, or get a headshot on one specific enemy that was particularly tough. Overall though, I would say this mod actually made the gunplay of Fallout 4 feel far superior. The feedback you get from landing shots on enemies and actually knowing you finish them off is really nice. And this is one of those mods that at first glance I didn't think I would love, but after using it for a while, this is probably going to be something I use for a while in my game. Also, just an aside, the actual trailer they posted for this is like a very modded Fallout 4, almost to the point where you don't even realize it's Fallout 4 at first, which is kind of crazy. But then we actually have something a bit different, something I've never really covered in a video like this, and that is vanilla sprinkles. Actually, no, not that vanilla sprinkles, this vanilla sprinkles. What this is a new auto installer mod list for Fallout 4 using the Wabbajack tool I've talked about on this channel in the past. So this isn't actually a singular mod, but it's adding in a bunch of mods all together in once. Obviously, for that reason, it's only on PC. In general, Wabbajack has gotten several updates, and I'll probably make a full video looking at some of these, but the vanilla sprinkles mod list is particularly interesting because it is just visual changes to Fallout 4. It in no way will affect the gameplay or the story, but it'll make Fallout 4 just look better, and also actually sound better somewhat too. This will add over 50 visual and retexture mods into the game, and it's one of those things that I don't personally love. That stage of the modding process can be kind of tedious to me just because there's so many different things you could download. This will automate a good chunk of that, making Fallout 4 look more kind of vanilla enhanced. It still looks like Fallout. It doesn't look like something totally different. There definitely is more foliage, but I feel like it's fitting for the Commonwealth, and it gives you a nice base to start adding mods on top of, whatever weapon mods you want, whatever story or functionality mods you want. And I thought this mod list in particular would be quite appealing to many of you, although outside of that, they've actually posted several other ones, like a comprehensive sim settlements mod list, installing automatically all of the various sim settlements mods out there right now. But speaking of making the game look better in various ways, we also do have the Wasteland Garage. What this is going to do is actually add in a ton of new settlement objects into Fallout 4. This is a large pack. There's going to be a lot of different variations on these. They're more or less all various vehicles in a Mad Max style, obviously fitting pretty well into Fallout 4. I feel like if there were custom vehicles in this series, this is what they would look like. Some of them being familiar, like takes on vertebrates, other ones being pretty custom, stuff we haven't seen quite yet, but this is pretty cool. If you're into settlement building, whether it be through something like Sim Settlements, or even just doing things by hand in the old school method, this is a good addition to your game. I think it actually adds a lot of flavor to settlements, and it gives you a good way to actually make them look quite a bit more interesting and fun. But then another mod that I feel like just way too many people are sleeping on is Blazkowicz. So this is a new quest and kind of armor mod for Fallout 4. So there's going to be a story, voice acting, and that is one half of this mod. But the interesting part about that is this story is based around Wolfenstein and Doom, containing some of the characters from Fallout, Wolfenstein, and Doom. I don't want to spoil anything about the quest. The voice acting actually was really well implemented. We can listen to a snippet here.
I'm with the Minutemen. Tell me what happened, and maybe I can help.
You got the call? That wasn't exactly meant for you. I guess that Pip-Boy on your forearm managed to pick it up. So, you're from a vault. Maybe you can help.
And the quests themselves are good, but definitely the smaller side of this mod, as one of the cooler parts about it is it actually adds in a ton of outfits and armors from Wolfenstein and Doom. You can see several of these in the backgrounds right now, many of these being from Wolfenstein, and these actually fit into the game really well. They're kind of a casual outfit, but also there are some armor and weapon pieces added in. Some of the weapons in particular are very vanilla, just edits on something we have right now, but cool edits, definitely making them stand out quite a bit more. But one of the coolest parts of this is they actually add in a new power armor, that obviously being inspired by the Doom armor. This is really well done, coming with some custom effects in game. It is a special legendary power armor type, and all in all, this is a complete package. It's another one that's really well done. Like the Ghoul Mask I showed you earlier, I just think it's cool how this all fits together. The quest is short, but good enough, and all of these new rewards and prizes are definitely great additions to the game, and in my eyes, this is a much better way of implementing all of this rather than just handing it to you one day. And I actually really like the way they implement some of the story content from other Bethesda games. But then last but not least, one that actually kind of surprised me, in Fallout games, or really Bethesda games overall, I don't use third person. I don't like using third person. I think it makes things look weird, but one thing that has almost gotten me to change that is better third person animations. What this mod is going to do is improve the visuals while you're in third person, slightly shifting the camera angle depending A, on what you're doing, and then B, just some general changes to where the camera's positioned overall. I really like this. I feel like it was really intuitively made, like someone who was actually playing the game in third person was like, hey, it should be here, not over there. If you're somebody who already plays the game in third person, I imagine this will be a pretty big upgrade, but if you're someone that has never played the game in third person, this again is the closest I've ever gotten. I found that the camera was always placed in a good position, or somewhere I would kind of want it to be. Either way, taking that all together, hopefully at least one of those mods was incentivizing you enough to download it. Fallout 4 modding on this channel is going to slow down over the next couple of weeks. We have a couple of really big new game releases that I will be covering, but there still will be mod videos. I know there's going to be some spooky, scary Halloween mods. I'm planning a full review and video on those, as well as a live stream playing them, perhaps even with a face cam to see how scared I get. But with all that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.